I want you to come a little closer and pay very close attention, because what I'm going to share with you is something that I find immediately obvious that we all need to do right now in crypto. If you hold tokens, if you're someone who values your time and money, you're going to want to pay attention, right? This is a topic that people sort of kind of discuss, but they don't punch the numbers. And I'm going to visualize this all for you today in many ways and show you how to actually go ahead and do this with 3 projects I'm going to introduce you to, and just at how much money we can make over the next few years completely passively. I get it. This does kind of sound like a bit of an advertisement right now, right? But I'm not advertising you anything. This is deadly serious, right? Now, what am I talking about? Well, it's regarding staking and inflation. No, I'm not trying to bore you with basic economic stuff. This is something that I'm gonna, asked to challenge you right now. If you make it through this whole video, and I suggest you do, and you still aren't someone going, holy shit, I need to take action right now, then I'm sorry, you can go ahead and dislike the video. I really implore you to go that far, okay? So without further ado, let me break down what we're covering today. So again, Casper, Hedera, and Mina protocol are going to be the topic, because they do have varying circumstances of what I want to teach you, right? And again, I'm not just going to punch some numbers. I want to actually give you real applications on how to go ahead after this video and tackle this. Now, as you'll see in a second, we're talking about numbers that are, and I'm going to kind of bit of a spoiler here, you can like 4x your initial investment over 2 years based on just rewards, like literally 4x. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit more. So I want to give you this circumstance of person A and person B. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I've explained this many times in different videos. It's for all those who haven't already known about it. So in this make-believe world, right, person A and person B, they both buy 10,000 tokens at $1, or they spend $10,000 at $1 and they buy 10,000 tokens. Pretty simple maths, right? Well, all their favorite influencers say, hey, this token's going to go up to $10, therefore, 10x from the current price. They say, sweet, that's all I want. I want $100,000 revenue is what they're essentially saying at 10x. And so what happens is if we factor in inflation at 10% year on year over the next 2 years, only 2 years, well, actually, this price will never hit. That's an expectation. Reality says, we're going to screw you and we're going to make this $1.50 less because of the inflation, right? So over here, Bobby, or person A in this case, right, we'll call him Bobby. Bobby's expecting $10, but that never happens, right? And so what happens is they have $82,000 basically sitting on the table. They see that in their wallet and they're pretty happy. Bobby's telling his partner how great he feels. But what happens? Well, this person decides to not take any profit because they're still expecting $1.50 more. At least it's a safe level. I mean, a 10x is a 10x. It's not that much, right? So this can be a very big problem, right? This is why a lot of us ended up never achieving our prices in the previous bull run, because we didn't factor in inflation. How do we counteract inflation? Well, 2 things. We can just sell lower and accept, well, we're not going to hit our targets. We're going to have to buy more tokens to hit our target. Or we can do the smart thing, which is going to be staking, right? Stake and beat the inflation plus some. And this is important for 2 reasons. One, it will allow you to achieve your target, right? So person B, let's call it Sandy. Sandy over here, same situation again. Everything is the exact same. Sandy instead, when this price goes to $826, okay, well, they don't know it's the top, but they're at $109,000 revenue right now. So they're thinking to themselves, Sandy's thinking, geez, I'm $9,000 up right now. I've just made an additional $9,000 above what I wanted to achieve, the $100,000, so they're going to take it out. Pretty simple. Well, in reality, what they'd likely do is actually sell at their goal, which is $7.50. So you can see $2.50 difference between these 2 targets, and Sandy's hit her $100,000 revenue goal, whereas Bobby, or whatever we call him over here, he's probably holding his token still, right? He hasn't even got to that level yet, and Sandy's hit it way down here. Why? Again, because she's staked her token. She's beaten that by 5%. Wow, this really is starting to sound like an ad right now. Beat it by 5%, right? But she has, right? She's staked 15% here. So again, over 2 years, she's gained about 30% of her tokens back. So she now has 13,000 rather than 10,000. That will, again, not only let her, bring the price down and sell at a much safer level, because again, someone who expects 100x, or in this case, a 10x, right, $10 token, that is harder to achieve because obviously there's more market cap required or capital required to be invested rather than $7.50. Makes more sense, okay? So it's a lot safer in this case. So not only is she buying at a cheaper level, but if she also decided to sell at this level, she would make more money as well. So that duality is awesome. And so I want to take you guys, first of all, through Casper today. Now, I'm not going to go through each of these circumstances. I'm not going to take you through each of these. This video will be like 20 minutes long if I do. So what I'm going to try to do is break down each of these. You can probably see my tabs at the top of the screen. I'm going to take you through what I want to actually show you and then give you this content to go through yourself. Now, the link for this board, we're not putting them in the description anymore. They're going to be free on the public Discord. Just join on the public Discord and have access to these boards, okay? So we're going to store them there instead, so there's a nice directory of all the boards. So in this case, let's touch on Casper. So what we're going to do first is think of a few things in this case, and when you go to apply this to yourself, you're thinking to yourself, well, Kyron, this is great. I want to stake my tokens. How do I know if I can? Well, Google, can you stake / delegate, whatever term they want to use. They're interchangeable. Staking and delegating, they're the same process, right? Well, can you? Google that for starters. But for a lot of us who are in the more, well-known projects, we can come to a website called stakingrewards.com. No, this is not an affiliation to me at all. I just use this website. You can come to this website and have a look and try to find your asset. There's a whole bunch of assets here, right? You can search them. And so we're going to use Casper, of course, for this example today. And yes, of course, they do it. And what this allows us to do is punch in a few variables. Now, one of the variables I want you guys to remember is this. We're going to predict the price in 2 years. Very important we do this. Now, you can come across to the price prediction sheet. I'll leave it down below for you guys. This is the sheet I made a while back using market data to predict the price of tokens for you all. And now this will be updated more frequently. I've got a private community coming out. You guys will have weekly access and updates. But this is one that's going to roughly be pretty good to look at. And if we come over here to Casper, right, $1.26 was the rough price prediction, right? So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to punch in $1.20, keep it on the lower side, right, $1.20. And we have to assess something else as well. And I'll show you how to use this. And that is the staking time. So of course, if we punch in 2 years from now, that's great. But from what I've studied, that's going to be basically at the end of the bull run, right? That's 2 years from now, October, November, December 2025. That's getting scary. So we have to assess one more thing, and that is whether or not the network we're looking at has an unlock period. Okay, and what this essentially means, when you stake / delegate, you're giving your tokens to a validator or a node that is then running and securing the network. And by doing that, they receive rewards. The more stake they have in there, the more people that delegate or give them the tokens, the more chance they have to get the reward. So then they can distribute those rewards out. But sometimes the process of then clawing back your tokens plus whatever interest you've gained, whatever rewards you've gained, sometimes take a bit of a period, right? And so Polkadot's like 28 days. Some of the networks are 2 weeks. They vary. We want to assess this because if you're someone whose network has a very long unlock period, you want to get out roughly in 1 year to 1.5 years from the current date, the 25th of November. You want to really be out by the start of 2025, by latest mid-2025, because it might take some time. And the reason why you do that, even if it is up to about a week period, is because your project might pump, separate to the other market. It might pump well before the end of the bull run, like most projects can do. And that means that if it's like, oh my God, it's pumping today, and you hit the unstake button and 1 week later you get your tokens, well, that might be said and gone. So you're better off unstaking earlier in that case, just in case. Allow me to interrupt this video with a word from our sponsor, specifically for all my trading followers. Guys, if you're someone who likes to trade the crypto markets or markets in general, but you want to take it to the next level, well, 1EX has partnered with me today to showcase their platform and basically the 5 options they have to optimize your trading experiences. Really excited about this one, guys. Let me take you through their products and what it fundamentally does. So there's 5 products on offer, at least the suite is comprised of 5 individual parts that make up 1EX, or essentially one exchange, right? The go-to place if you are a trader. Particularly, again, we can use this for crypto. So the 5 are 1EX Algo, 1EX Risk Management, 1EX AI News, 1EX Smart DOM, and also the trading board. Now, you can think of the trading board as essentially like the main interface that allows you to, enter, buy, and sell orders. It's basically just a bunch of charts that allow you to obviously trade, right? Now, the rest of these are really cool features I think you guys want to listen to. So the 1EX Algo is a platform that allows you to test, optimize, and conduct forward and portfolio analysis, but fundamentally is a trading bot, right? The 1EX platform enables professional market participants to create their own trading bots to make the creation of trading bots even simpler and more convenient. They actually have 90 pre-built ones already for you. You can mix and match. So that's pretty interesting, right? I know a lot of you actually have conversations with in the past, and you do want and you use trading bots. Next, the 1EX Smart DOM. This is a professional product for the trading positions market. It's designed for monitoring the volumes of various instruments and the quick placement of buy and sell orders, all right? So it allows you to accurately track market dynamics and make timely decisions on transactions. Now, one notable feature about 1EX is they're actually really targeting the institutional clients as well, the managed funds basically, right? They're looking at adopting these, and as we'll see in the next point right here, the risk management, this is where things are really catered towards them. But of course, as the retail trader, as you know, you and I, we can still take obviously, really great benefit from this. So the risk management is infrastructure for professional trading companies. Aided by a risk management system, professional trading companies get the opportunity to control trading, operation risk, and the assessment of efficiency of a trading action, right? Trading sessions can be monitored in real time. Future operations can be set up and parameterized in a simple management tool. All right, we're getting kind of serious now. You can see how all these things start to combine. And this is the one thing that I really love here. And this is one thing that I wish I had, right, for fundamental analysis news. The AI news. Get this. A smart feed with real-time analysis will become a crucial tool for traders. And it is. Everything is dependent on news. Our product rapidly fetches unique news from the global media and compresses the facts, guess what, into 2 sentences. How good is that, right? This is an amazing feature that I would absolutely love to use myself. Now, the trading board, we'll finish up here. Again, it is a customized design that supports spot and also margin trading as well. So there's a lot more to this, and yes, I'm only going to go through this very briefly here, but again, to give you guys some idea of the tokenomics structure, it's actually quite fair, right? It's broken up, as you can see here, 10% to the pre-seed and the seed round, 4% to the private round, 15% to the future round. The team has 12%, which can be argued it is a little bit, but in this case, the rest is quite fair, okay? 6% to advisors and so on and so forth, okay? So they haven't actually launched their token just yet, but it will be used within the ecosystem and all amongst those 5 features to, of course, benefit you. Of course, holding their token, right, it's going to allow you to do a whole heap more than what you would using a stablecoin. So with that said, thank you to 1EX for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. So in the case of Casper, we can see here, we've just searched it up. Very simple, right? Unstake or unstaking delay Casper. Unstake period Casper, or enter your network name in there. And in this case, we can see here that it comes available in 7 eras, epochs, whatever they want to call it. It's just a period of time the network decides is basically the refresh round of rewards and stuff like that, okay? And so 1 era is approximately 2 hours for Casper. So basically, when you want to request your tokens back, you have to wait 14 hours. Not too bad, that's fine. So in this case, we come back to here and we can put in 2 years. Again, if that answer was like Polkadot, 28 days, I would be probably putting in 1 year and 2 months-ish to be safe, right? So we can basically play this to the max time. And what we want to put this in for 2 years is because we just get more rewards. The longer we have it staked, the better, right? So of course we put in, let's just say in this example, right, Casper Network. We have to then come across here and choose who we're staking to. Now, it's very important you decide correctly, right? Because if we come to Everstake over here, we click onto these guys. What the hell? There's 2 validators. There's one at 10.36% and there's one at 8.91. So what you do in this case as well, an additional step, I know it's getting kind of complicated, is you'll have to go over to a validator list. So what you want to do in this case is search up your network, and the next word you want to use after that is Explorer. So in this case, Casper Explorer. It'll come up a list of, all the types of things. So if you click home, like the block height, validators, price, stake, bonded, it'll show you the transactions, APY, so on and so forth, right? That's average. We come to the validators at the top over here, nodes, whatever they call them, and we can see them all. So we can see Everstake and Everstake, right? That makes sense. Those 2 were listed, but double check. So 69B, 4B4. Okay, so 69B, 4B4, sweet. So we can pair them up. Okay, cool. So there's 2 different validators from Everstake, 2 different rewards rate. So what we're going to do now is just make sure that, okay, these are legit validators, right? So check the fee, very important. We check the fee. That will actually tally up if you're not careful. Check how much is staked, check their performance or their reputation score, very important. You don't want to go on with a low score, of course, and just make sure it's all legit. So in this case, of course, both are 10%. So we obviously want to go with the one that's giving us more tokens back. So in this case, let's pick the 10%. But just make sure, this can be wrong. Just make sure you actually are receiving 10% APR, right? And if we come back here, Casper said their rough average APY is 11%. So you want to make sure you're getting as much as possible. So in this case, let's say we have maybe over the last 12 months accumulated 100 to 1,000 Casper. Well, in this case, sweet, we punch that in, make sure it's over to the CSPR over here. We've got 2 years. Again, the price we're expecting $1.20 from the price prediction sheet over here. And what we're going to do is click over to USD. And what we can see is after 2 years, right, there's a few different scores here. Not staking, selling rewards, compounding, and non-compounding. We ideally want to compound, right? Put our rewards back in on top, so we're getting even more rewards. And so if you were not staking after 2 years, you would have profited. Again, this also factors in the price increase here of $1.20. You would have had $110,000, which is quite insane, right? Because again, we've turned $3,300 over here, or 100,000 tokens, into $116,000. But as you can see in the light blue, if we compound these, it's 144,000. So that's like plus 30,000 more dollars here. So you literally 10x by just staking. This isn't fairy dust, this is real. So it's why it's important you understand is what I said at the introduction, right? If you think about it, over the next 2 years, whatever the initial capital you put in, you can quite literally 10x that just in staking, let alone the actual price appreciation if you compound. Huge. Or maybe you don't compound, you still get $141,000. You're still getting like that $25,000 extra. And that would mean obviously you would just accumulate the rewards and sell the total tokens at the end. It's also pretty interesting because it has also the orange option here, which is just selling your rewards. So every time you get rewards, there will be 100 CSPR tokens for the day, you just sell them. It says everything, but ideally you don't want to be the person that's not staking. Don't be purple, be light blue, okay, is what I'm trying to say to you guys. And so, of course, if we come back over here, same situation plays out, right? I just kind of contextualize it differently. So $1,000 at 3 cents, which is the current price of the token, you get 33,000 tokens, roughly speaking, 8% inflation, which is actually the inflation rate right now. Of course, if you're expecting our price prediction of $1.20, that's about 40,000 revenue you're roughly thinking about expecting here in this case, right? Well, on the contrary, if you actually put inflation into factor here, it's $1.03. Okay, you only get 34,000 revenue. The same situation plays out like I did with person A over here. So, of course, what you would do and what I am doing, of course, is staking. So in this case, you can turn 33,000 tokens into 39,000 tokens. Even if you stake at 10%, that's only 2% more. And CSPR, right, that could be 11%, like they said on the mainnet over here, right, 11.38%. So whatever it is, it does fluctuate depending on the network, right? So as we'll see in a minute here, depending on how much is actually staked in the network, as you can see, you can move the needle. If it's less staked, you get more rewards. If there's more staked, you get less rewards, right? Because they have to give those rewards out. There's more competition, so on and so forth. And nevertheless, hopefully you guys understand the premise here, okay? So in this case, you could sell Casper at $1 rather than $1.20, which is a lot. That's, well, about 20%, roughly speaking, difference. That's huge. That's huge. So you can see why it's very important. Now, again, I'm not going to go into the Hedera and Mina example on here. I'm going to leave that completely to you guys to do on your own time. All I want to say is for Hedera, in the case of doing the example rather, we can see here 1.16% APR. They only have one option here because, as we'll see over here with HBAR, and why it's very important we have a look at all of these explorers, is they're all the same rewards rate, all the same 1.15, 1.16, whatever. They recently decreased it. I'm like 2 months later, they recently decreased it from like 6.5% down to 1.16, but this will fluctuate through the next 2 years, likely be more than what it is. And so HBAR, of course, being so low, they technically don't have inflation, technically, right? When I say that, they don't have inflation, it's just unlocked tokens coming out. We can see over 2 years, you're not getting as crazy rewards, right? But it's still there. So not staker, they get $193,000. If you compound and essentially stake, you get $198,000. So you're still making $5,000. That's nothing to scoff at. Like, ask anyone, would you rather $5,000 from doing nothing or not rather $5,000? And I think people would choose the $5,000, especially considering, again, we look up, is there an unlock period for HBAR? And in this case, there isn't. Completely liquid, meaning that you can just move your tokens on a dime and that's fine, right? You get the reward still. So that makes perfect sense to keep this locked in for the whole entire 2 years. It's just like holding your tokens, right? So that makes total sense to me. Now, the last one over here for Mina is kind of crazy. This is like the hyperbolic example of the both. So in this case, I personally stake with Aura. I think it's Aura wallet, but it doesn't have it on here. Nevertheless, the rewards rate's about the same as P2P.org. So I'm going to put P2P.org in. Let's say we buy 1,000 Mina tokens, which is worth $819, which is very fair, I think. Right, well, I'm expecting the price to appreciate to $13 in the bull run. So wherever Mina protocol is down here, about $13 or so. Again, it could be more, it could be a lot less. Again, we hold it for the 2 years. I'm going to give you the reason why, again, because there is no withdrawal period for your tokens. It's completely liquid like HBAR, which is awesome. So we lock it in for the whole entire 2 years. And again, if we come over here, click the USD option, we can have a look. After these 2 years, this is kind of crazy, right? So not staking, you get $12,000 just because, again, the price appreciation. But if you do stake, you compound rather, it's $16,000. So again, you're gaining like, what, $4,000 more. But here's the caveat, $4,000 from an initial investment of $800. That's like a 5x. So you're 5xing, not as good as, Casper, sure, but you're still 5xing your return. It's literally mind-bending. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this. Okay, I just wouldn't understand why. And so it's very important you guys go ahead, of course, and still look at the validator list as well. But nevertheless, I would say, look, if you can come through to this page here and just have a look at these examples, again, I've made these actually accurate, then you will begin to realize, again, not just can I make more money, but I can actually sell, like Mina here, rather than $13, I can sell it literally $10, $3 cheaper, which can be a huge difference and still make the same amount of revenue. Mind-bending. Guys, that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit a like if you learned something new. I would love to see it, and let me know what your thoughts are down below as well. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Take good care. Bye.